Hello everyone, I'm your host Benjamin and I especially welcome you to another exciting video tutorial lessons with BlabenSolutions. So if you are out here and you like what we do, please do well to smash the subscribe button and don't forget to check the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. Please do well to give this video a like because by doing that, the algorithm pushes this video to as many new people that come onto the platform. So if you do this for me, I would greatly appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to look at how to create another awesome makeup flyer. So if you're interested to learn something new, as in learning how to create this awesome makeup flyer, why don't you come along with me into the world of Photoshop and let's make this magical. So in front of you are the resource files that I'll be using for this flyer. Now, mind you, I don't own any of these files, so I downloaded these files from the internet. Okay, some I took from freepick.com, some I downloaded from YouTube, some I downloaded from you know where we get these resource files that we use in our daily workflow. So these are the resource files, and quickly let's move on to the world of Photoshop. So in here we need to first of all create a document for working, maybe creating the canvas. So what I'm going to be doing is to just name this makeup, and maybe working in pixels is what I prefer. For this flyer, I would prefer working in pixels, and I'm going to be leaving the measurement in 1000 for the width and 1000 for the height, and with the resolution I'm going to make it 300. And I think everything looks okay, perfect for me. I'm not going to print this design, it's just going to be shared across our digital platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and BlabenSolutions and everything. Yeah, so let's click on create if we are ready to start designing our makeup flyer. All right, welcome. Now in here we first of all need to work with our background, creating our background. But let me introduce some of the images that I've already brought up in here. So you realize we saw, okay, you didn't see this image, but I will need some part or some portion of these images. I downloaded this image from freepick.com, so I'll make sure I leave a link to this image in the description below, so you can also go ahead and download and use it for the practical work. So these are social media images that icons that I have that I will be placing later on in the flyer design. And this is some beautiful African woman, and I'm using this lady to stand in as a, let me say, makeup design. Looking at the makeup, it looks very great, it looks nice, so I'm going to use this nice looking woman for the how should I put it, but for the, okay, so I believe you understand what I mean. So quickly let's move on back to the canvas and let's start doing something for ourselves. So in here let's create a solid fill to cover the entire canvas, and to do that let's come to the adjustment fill, click on this, and let's choose a solid color. Now I'm going to be using a hexa code of 3D, so always the hexa code should be written here, 3D and 0239. Okay, so something is it violet? Yeah, I guess so, violet. All right, so let's click on OK when we are done. So now the hexa code is now 330033. That is it. 330033. Yep. 330033. All right, so let's click OK if we are done in here. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I don't know, but I think I mostly enjoy doing this a lot, by creating a new layer on top of this, and go in here, take my brush tool, come up here, select a sample from this, and maybe I can choose this color, click OK, and increase the size of my brush tool to about as big as I could. Sorry, this is way bigger. Okay, so well, we can still increase the size using our close square bracket on the keyboard. We can decrease the size by using the open square bracket on our keyboard to decrease the brush size, or using the close square bracket on our keyboard to increase the size of our brush. So in here, let's place this in the middle and let's just click OK, and we have this looking nice for us. So basically this is what I wanted to do, but it's too bright, so we can just reduce the opacity of this guy this way. All right, later on we'll know how best to work around it. Good. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my beautiful African woman with the afro hair. So I've already made some, that is taking out the background. So the original image was this, and after working on it, we now have this. So I'm going to just drag this nice looking beautiful lady in here this way. All right, so you realize the image is way bigger. So let's free transform this by hitting on the Control T on our keyboard, press Control 0 to zoom out, as in to get that fit size, and let's hold on the Alt key on our keyboard, click any side of this, and just drag this image back in here this way. All right, so let's hit enter, press Control 0. All right, so we have this image, so let's drag this. Sorry. All right, so what I'm going to be doing next is I would want to make this image standalone, so I'm just going to hit Control E to merge this together. Then I'm now going to create a new layer mask on top of this image. Then with my brush tool selected, I'm going to be brushing some portion out of this. Now because I'm working on the layer mask, or some people might choose to call it vector mask, what I'm going to do is make sure you check your foreground and your background color. Okay, so always your foreground color, if you want to hide some portion of your image, okay, as in clean some portion out of the image, always make sure your foreground color is set to black. Now the foreground color is the topmost color, color, and the background color is the one at the back. Okay, so as the name suggests, background color. Great. So in here, make sure your foreground color is set to black. I have a full video teaching you guys how to use the vector mask or the layer mask. So if you haven't watched that video, a link will be placed up here or in the description below. So make sure to check that out. You can watch that video as many times as you can, so that you don't miss this part that I'm about to do. So by setting the foreground color to black, just hit on the D key on your keyboard. So okay, so that will set the entire things to default, that is making it black and white. So to switch between colors, just make sure you hit on the X key on your keyboard, and now we have our foreground set to black. So let's use the open square bracket and the close square bracket to either decrease or increase the size of our brush too, right? So I'm now decreasing the size of my brush too, and I'm just going to always make sure the layer mask is selected. Okay, the layer mask thumbnail is selected, so that you can easily work in here. So this is what I have. Okay, so this is what I have now. Then I'm going to just hit on V, okay, to select my move to. Then what I'm going to be doing is, sorry about that guys, Control Z, let me undo this, Control Z, and let me undo this. I think I mistakenly did something that I shouldn't have done. Okay, so I realized that I selected this layer and that of the highlight layer, and by pressing Ctrl E it merged those two layers together, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I need to undo that so that I get my layer standing alone for me, right? All right, so sorry for that. So with our brush tool selected, we'll just be wiping this portion up. So basically, let's just avoid merging the image, right? Let's just avoid merging the image. So we have this now. Let me try bringing this beneath and let's see what happens. Okay, so I think I like the feel for this, having the image below the spot layer, this kind of spot layer. So I'm just going to reduce the opacity of this guy way back to something I think might best work, and we can actually use that. So with the image still selected, let me reduce the size. You could see that with the hair, there are some portions here that doesn't look very well. So I can just clean some portions in here just to make it a bit okay. So that there you go, there you go. And now the next thing I'm going to be doing in here is to now type in the name of the as in the company. So I'm just going to type using a font by name Gotham. So with our type tool selected, let's just come in here and we can choose the font name. This set to, these are my favorite fonts that I mostly use. So Gotham Ultra. So I'm just going to type in here this way by typing Trinity, and I'm just going to change the color, I think, to this. Well, yeah. Then I'm going to, sorry for that, Trinity should be placed on top of this guy so that we have this. So Control T, and let me scale this guy in a way that I think I really like it. So we can push this guy over here this way. So we have Trinity, and with a color, can we increase the color a bit? Okay, so this is okay, Trinity, and I'm going to just duplicate this guy by holding the Alt key on my keyboard. Click on the text, let's just drag this down this way. All right, so then I'm going to name this makeup. All right, so this will be set to white, and maybe I'll be adding a stroke to it. So let's come to the FX, the add layer style, click on the stroke, and we are going to be adding a stroke of color. Let's select this color from this side, okay, and maybe we can increase the size a bit. Okay, so I guess this is looking okay, and we can place this guy on top of the Trinity. So we can select both layer, and Control T, and maybe reduce the size a bit. So doing this, one of my finger is on top of the Alt key, so I can scale this in a way that wouldn't distort the image. So I guess this is okay. Let's hit enter on our keyboard. So let me pull this guy back down a bit, and I think this looks nice for me. Then what I'm going to be doing next is to type the services that the Trinity makeup does beneath the makeup. Okay, so in here I'm just going to be choosing a font, I think the same Gotham, but I'm not let me see. Okay, so I'm going to be choosing Gotham, medium Gotham, and with the color will be set to something yellowish. So anything yellow that looks nice, but I think I have a hexa code for this. I think this yellow looks okay. That's it. So let's just type what they do. So we do pedicure, pedicure, and you know pedicure goes to manicure. Is it manicure, medicure, whichever? So manicure, that's manicure, bridal shower, wig fixing. You know, let me do this quickly and I'll get back to you guys shortly. So now that we are done with this, what I'm going to do next is to quickly work on the contact details first of all. So with my rectangle tool selected, I'm going to draw a rectangle shape this way with a white color, and let me drag this up a bit. So in here, I'm just going to duplicate the makeup to bring this here. So we can just drag this bar beneath, so we have our makeup working here this way. And I'm just going to change this to the contact details of the client, which is 026, and so I'm going to just take off the stroke from this, just turn off the stroke and change the color to this. Then I'm going to be dropping this guy in here this way. Then I'm going to be duplicating the services that we do, and maybe change the color to this looking guy. Maybe something this way works good. Then I'm going to say what's up. WhatsApp only. So I'm going to be placing this guy here. Then I'm going to be duplicating Ctrl J and shifting this way. So this will be the name of the client's social media hand pages. So we have Trinity underscore makeup 2022. So that is it. And quickly, I'm just going to bring in the social media icons that I have in here. There are two, so I'm just going to select the Facebook and the Instagram icon, and I'm going to be adding a color overlay to this guy. So with coming to the art style, let's choose color overlay in here, and we will maintain this color, or better still, we can still change this to this, you know. Yeah, so maybe okay. So I'm not going to do save. I'm just going to copy the layer style of this, right click on it, and let's choose copy layer style. So we can just paste that onto this layer. Right click and let's say paste layer style, and voila, we have this. So let's select this both layers, Ctrl T, and let's scale this small. Now we are kind of done with the number placing in here. Then the next thing we're going to do is to import some images that shows or that displays the services that we do. Okay, so I'll be creating a square. So with my rectangle tool, I'm going to be creating a shape, rectangle shape this way, and I'll be making the edges round. So let's just drag this thing here this way, and we have this looking nice for us. So I'll be duplicating this image. So hold your Alt key, click, and let's drag this guy up here this way. So let's do same for both. So I'm just going to be pushing this images up here a bit this way, and there you have it. Great. So we can select this. Okay, so let's leave them as they are currently. And what I want to do is to just create some thin line in between these shapes, so I'm going to change the color to this. Great. Then what I'm going to be doing now is to press the free transform. Sorry, let me duplicate it. So first of all, Control J to do the duplication, Control T to transform this, and right click in here and let's say flip, maybe rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we have this coming this way. So I'm going to just be placing this guy over here. Then I'm going to be selecting these two shapes. Press Ctrl E on your keyboard to merge these shapes together. Then with my rectangle marquee tool selected, I'm going to be drawing some square shape in here. So let's move this to the middle. All right, so we have this. I'm just going to choose the layer mask, and we have this cross or plus sign in the middle. So it's up to us. We can choose to maintain this small plus or cross sign in the middle, or hit Ctrl I to have this. So everything is up to you guys. You can choose between this or that. All right, so I prefer this, and now I'm going to be placing the images on top of these shapes. I believe you know how to do clipping masking of images on top of shapes, text, and if you don't, I have a full video teaching you guys how to do that. So I'll be leaving the link in the description below and maybe up here as well. So please do well to watch this video and check that out. Right, great. Now let's continue. So quickly, I would want to skip this part, as in rush through this part, and I'll be back very soon, guys. All right. All right, guys, so welcome back from that quick one, and you can see we are done. Basically, we are done with creating our flyer design, but there's one last thing I would want to include in this. That is the slogan of the client, which says creating beauty in elegance. So I would want to put that in here. So with my type 2 selected, I'm just going to type creating. I'm just going to be placing this in here, but I'll be using a font, a stylish font. But let's say, I think this one would do. Great. So the name is Ruth Legos. Ruth Legos. That is the name of the font, and I'm be changing this to white. So better still, can we make it yellow? Let's see. I think the white will do. So white. And maybe decreasing the size a bit. So that is it, creating beauty in elegance. All right, guys, so this brings us to the end of today's video tutorial. I believe you've learned so much. You've learned so much new things that you didn't know before, but now you know, right? If you did, please do well to give this video a like, and make sure to smash the subscribe button if you've not yet done that. If you are here and you love this design, and maybe you want to engage me to sort you out by creating some designs for you, please do want to check the description below. There's a link to my Fiverr account and we can work together. Please, let's make this interactive by sharing your ideas in the comment section below. I would greatly appreciate if you would do that for me. Until I come your way next time, it is still BlabenSolutions, and see you guys in the next one. I'm out.